As the world falls apart, there's a lot we can't control. Being prepared is the best way to take charge of our future. We won't get advanced warning. Don't get caught unprepared. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome back to the channel. It's a different world we're living in. Prepping is no longer just something for those weird people over there with the tinfoil hats. With everything we've been through and everything we've seen over the last few years, most people, they get it now. Most people understand the importance of preparedness, but we still see times when the uncertainty of the world and the events beyond our control seem to ramp up a little bit. People who haven't already been prepping in earnest feel the need to get started, and those who have been prepping for years step it up a bit. This is one of those times. Prepping is a way of life for us, and we sometimes like to do these videos to share a little glimpse of what we're adding to our preps and our prepper pantry and why. So let's jump right into it and see what we've stocked up on this week. All right, so starting right over here, this is just a little thing that I picked up. I saw it on the website and I thought it looked really interesting and it had some good reviews. So I thought I would give it a try. It's a little lantern and like flashlight thing. It's super compact, but you can pull it up like this and make it into a lantern. It's rechargeable, so it's got where you plug it into recharge, but you can also use it as a power bank and plug something in if it has power and you're not using it as a light. It has a lower mode and then a brighter mode. It is pretty bright. And then if you close it up, it does click shut, but when you close it up, then it becomes a flashlight with the same lower and brighter mode. And it also has a hand crank charger, which I don't put a whole lot of stock in these kind of hand crank chargers because you really have to crank quite a bit to get much of a charge. But if you were in an absolute dire emergency and you had time on your hands, it would be better than nothing. So I do sometimes like it when something has that option. It of course has a little handle, so you can hang the lantern or carry the lantern like this. And I just like that it's a nice, compact, light little package. So it could stick into a backpack, it could stick into your vehicle, it could stick anywhere. So like I said, I did test it out a little bit and it is pretty good and bright for what it is, for the size and the price. So I was kind of impressed with this, but I'll be testing it out some more as well. And next I got a couple of, these are just phone mounts for my car. We got a new car. Well, it's new to us. It's not actually new, but it's new to us, and we actually didn't get rid of any of our other vehicles for multiple reasons. We've got driving age teenagers and things. So I'm going to be replacing a lot of my organizational and my emergency preparedness items for my vehicle since we're going to have an extra vehicle now. So these are both to keep my cell phone handy. I haven't tried them yet to decide which one I'm going to keep. They're basically the same, except for this one has this type of a mount and this one has a magnetic mount, which is similar to what I have right now. I have a magnetic thing on the back of my phone. I'm not sure how well this suction cup type base is going to mount to my dashboard, so that's what I'm going to have to try out and see. They both have the same kind of mount, but we'll have to try these out and see how they work. But I do like to have a way to keep my phone handy and accessible, but out of the way. Especially if you're doing GPS or something on your phone, it's good to have it right there. And next I've got a couple of different tapes. Tape is a good prepping item to have for things like repairs. I've got a silicone tape, and this is a self-amalgamating tape, so they're very similar. But these tapes are both, they're strong, they're stretchy, they stick to themselves, and they're both really resistant to heat and to cold and to liquid and things like that. And so they're a really good tape to have on hand. You know, most preppers want to have some duct tape, but it's also good to have electrical tape and some tapes like these. So some of these will probably go into the new car emergency kit that I'm putting together, and they're also useful for other things as well. And then I've got a case of this seasoning. This is a 12-pack. I just happened to see this. I'd never seen it before. It sounded good to me. I'm kind of into Mexican street corn everything these days, so I thought I would grab a bunch of these to try, and maybe this could be made into some unique jar meals and things like that. This is another thing for the vehicle. It's a seatbelt grabber thing. It's actually meant for people that have an injury. I don't have an injury, but I just find this car has a lot of space in the driver's seat. Like Mr. Wicked Prepared is 6'4", and he said it's the most comfortable he's ever been driving any vehicle. But because of that, I have to pull the seat way up, and I pull the seat up so far that I really can't reach the seat belt behind me. It's kind of behind me and behind the seat. So I got these thinking that this would help me out. It was pretty inexpensive. a 2-pack. I probably only need one, but I'll have one as a backup in case one breaks or something. And then back here, I've got an electric tomato strainer. Electric, so obviously this isn't something that I would use during a grid down emergency, but this is something that we would use to put up food and preserve food to have for emergencies. So this is just a tool to help put up food faster. It's a tomato strainer, and honestly, I have a couple manual things that I can use for this, which is definitely important to have manual versions of your electric kitchen tools for grid down emergencies, grid down situations, especially if it's a long-term situation. But I've never used anything like this for my tomatoes. I've honestly just always included the seed and the skins right in the tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, whatever I've made. And I had avoided buying one of these because of the price, but I found a pretty good price on this, and so I thought I would grab it. Of course, I had that discussion with myself afterwards saying, why did I even buy this? I just usually include the whole tomato, skins, peels, everything. But this also does berries. It has a berry screen, a very fine cone for doing berries, and that is something that I do a lot, is separate the seeds out of raspberries and blackberries, and I find that to be a very tedious task the way I usually do it, using a wire mesh strainer and just kind of pressing it through. So I'm hoping that this will work better for that and be a lot easier for that. And I'll probably try using it for my tomatoes as well and see if I like that. Some people will take the skins and seeds that they strain out of their tomatoes and dehydrate them for tomato powder. Honestly, I just can't see those bits of the tomato that we don't want to have, the skins and the seeds, making a very good tomato powder, because they're the probably least flavorful and most bitter parts, in my opinion. But I might try it and see. Next, I've got a few more things over here. I've got these couple condiments I found. I went to a Walmart that was not my typical Walmart, so I found some cool new things I hadn't seen before. This chili lime mayonnaise spread with tahini. I thought this sounded really kind of good and interesting, so I was going to try this. And this dill pickle mustard. I had never seen this before. My girls had been making sandwiches and putting mustard and pickles on it, so I thought this would be kind of a cute combination product. I have never refrigerated any kind of mustard. I know this says refrigerate after opening, but I don't, honestly. So this would be okay for emergency situations for myself. I thought this would be good, not just sandwiches, but things like deviled eggs, potato salad, things like that. I had never seen this before, and honestly, I looked in the app, and they also have a dill pickle ketchup. I haven't gotten that one to try yet, but I'm gonna try it. Next, I've got some number 10 cans of freeze-dried food. If you've been prepping long, you know why freeze-dried food is so prized by preppers. There's two main reasons. The first being the extraordinary shelf life. Most freeze-dried food, when sealed in cans like these, is good for about 25 years. The second reason is the nutrition. Freeze-dried food is by far the most nutritious shelf-stable food option out there because the freeze-drying process is so gentle. It uses no chemicals, no preservatives, and it maintains nearly all of the nutrition that is naturally present in the food, which is very important if we should ever have to live off of our food storage entirely. The quality is another factor. Freeze-dried food is just head and shoulders above canned food, dehydrated food, anything else when it comes to flavor and texture. What I got here is sausage and green beans. These are both on sale 30% off for July, and I did already get one order earlier this month, but I decided to put in a last-minute stock-up order for the end of the month while they're still on sale. I got 1 can of the sausage. I did get a case of the green beans, which is 6 of these number 10 cans, which are gallon-sized cans. If you saw last week's video, I did a sausage skillet lasagna meal in a jar with a side dish of seasoned green beans, which was super delicious. With these things being on sale, it was a good time to make a whole bunch of those jars to have some easy emergency meals on hand. So I wanted to restock these as well. If you want to know what freeze-dried items are on sale at any given time and get access to any special discounts or codes that come out, you can join my text alert system by texting SALE to the number that I'm going to put at the bottom of the screen. Just one note though, we have had so many people using this system. It's gotten so popular that we're actually starting to outgrow it, and it has crashed on us a few times. So I have had to use my personal number a few times, and we are looking at getting a second number to work with. So if you get a text back from a different number, don't panic. It's just me. It's all me. This goes straight to me. Your info does not leave me. I would never share your info, anything like that. We're just having to look at different options because so many people have hopped on our list. So get on it while you can. I do expect a really big sale next month in August with lots of really big discounts. So you're going to want to be on the list so I can update you as soon as I know more. Another thing you can do is head on over to our website and create a free account, and that way we can stay connected that way as well. Make sure you use our link I will put it down below and also put a QR code on the screen. This way you make sure that you're in the right place. Stay away from Google because a lot of people end up on imposter sites. You definitely want to stay away from that. So direct links are the way to go. Up here on top, I do have some cans of Keystone Meats. These are all ground beef. I got 4 cans. I have found that Walmart is, for me, the best place to buy these if they have them in stock on the website. If you're super lucky, your local store might sell these Keystone cans right in the store. Mine does not. So I have to order them. And if Walmart has them in stock, they have really good prices, but they're not always in stock for shipping by Walmart. And if it's not Walmart, then the price can be a lot higher. So I will put links down below to all of these Keystone Meats on Walmart. They should be less than $10 a can for any given meat. In fact, the turkey one has a really good deal going on now. It's just over $25, I think, for 4 cans. And these are huge cans. These are 28-ounce cans, so they're very big. So I'll put a link down below. Just check the price. Make sure that they're being sold by Walmart under $10 a can for sure, or else don't purchase them. But these Keystone Meats are really great quality, and I use them in a lot of my meals in a bag and things like that. I can add these to casseroles and anything that I need to have some ground beef easily. Next, I have some different seasonings down here. You definitely want to have seasonings in your prepper pantry to be able to avoid boredom and food fatigue, and just to make some different kinds of dishes out of your same foods you have stored. The first thing I've got here is this salt and vinegar fry seasoning with dill. Now we do homemade French fries, and I can French fries also, but what I really got this for was that we're planning to make a bunch of dehydrated zucchini chips because we have, of course, a lot of zucchini coming out of the garden right now. And so we thought a salt and vinegar would be good. Everyone's been sending me videos of making them, soaking them in vinegar and sprinkling them with salt, and I thought it would just be easier to just sprinkle some seasoning right on them. So that's what I'm going to try doing. I also got this dill pickle seasoning, and I had gotten this before I decided on the zucchini chips just because I saw it and it caught my eye because we love dill pickle stuff. But this will be good on zucchini chips too, I think. It's actually meant for popcorn, but I thought it could be good on a lot of different things. I do a dill pickle pasta salad that everyone loves, and I thought it would be a good little sprinkle to put on top of that. It would go on deviled eggs. It could go on a lot of different stuff. This one I saw and it caught my eye. It's everything mushroom seasoning. And I don't really know what it's going to be like, but you can see that it's got bits of mushroom in it, and I absolutely love mushroom. So I just saw this and had to try it. And these are these big bulk size jars of seasoning. I just usually look for the best price and in any particular seasoning that I'm looking for. These two are restocks, the ground white pepper and the celery salt. I use these. I was running low on these. This is something that's in my potato salad recipe, which we eat a lot during the summer because we love it. And so we've been going through a lot of this. Of course, they're in other recipes as well. Celery salt is another one that's really good on deviled eggs. And then this one is just a chili margarita Mexican citrus blend. I got a Mexican street corn style, like corn cob kit from the deli, and it came with a packet of this seasoning, and I really, really liked it. So I looked it up and bought a big jug because I thought this was really good. Next, back here I've got some of these bottles. These are tall, skinny bottles they came with this topper, and I like it because it clicks open and it really seals shut really well. It's not one of those that just comes open when you tip it, so I think this will be easier to use. They did not come with these chalkboard labels. I put those on myself. I buy those separately. I got these because when I buy my vinegars, I buy them in large, gallon jugs for the Prepper Pantry because vinegar is a forever food. It's going to last forever. I use quite a bit of it in different things, whether it be cooking, whether it be preserving and canning, pickling. But I also use it in the kitchen in smaller amounts for cooking, and so I just wanted to have it on hand in smaller bottles. I used to always keep an old small grocery store bottle and refill that, but these are really, really old. This one is actually in pretty good shape compared to some of the ones that I have. So I thought it was time for an upgrade. This was a set of 4, and I filled a couple of them with rice vinegar and apple cider vinegar. I'm going to fill the other 2, and I may end up getting more sets because I can picture having oils in them and vinegars, and I probably am going to need a few more of these. And then here I have got a Hamburger Helper. Now I found these at Dollar Tree, and I have never seen a spaghetti version of Hamburger Helper before. I actually found a couple of Hamburger Helpers at Dollar Tree that were something different I had never seen before. The other one was a barbecue flavor, and we actually ate that one up like as soon as I brought it home. I wanted to try it. And it was pretty good actually. And this spaghetti one, It says you could try it with meatballs instead of just plain ground beef. I've just never seen this flavor before, and I always like to try something new. We don't do a whole lot of Hamburger Helper anymore because, especially with meals in a jar, I just feel like it's much better. I can make, my own convenience food much better from scratch. But I do like to try new things when I find them, and we like to keep things like this on hand. Sometimes the kids like to fix these up. So I thought I would try those. I grabbed 2 of those. I hope that my Dollar Tree continues to have them, but you never know. And next I've got a few pet items. I've got some dog food here. Don't forget, if you have pets or even livestock type of animals, you need to prep for them the same way that you prep for yourself. A big part of that is going to be food and water. For pets, a good rule of thumb is to store 1 ounce of water for every 1 pound of their body weight for each day. So for a 25-pound dog, for instance, you would want to store 25 ounces of water for each day. So about 3 cups. So for a 72-hour supply, that would be 75 ounces, and so on and so forth. Food, really for long-term storage for pet food, it's best to have canned and or freeze-dried food. They can store much longer than kibble, which goes rancid pretty quickly no matter how you store it. I mean, that's been my experience and a lot of other people that I've talked to. But just like everything else, you should be building an advanced supply that you rotate through. So if kibble is what you normally feed your pet, then you should stock up on at least a few months worth of extra kibble and just rotate through it so it doesn't go bad. You just can't store like a couple years worth. So this is kibble. We just recently started buying freeze-dried pet food for our pets, but because freeze-dried is a little bit more costly than kibble, and we have 6 dogs, so we go through a lot of food. We use the freeze-dried for a food topper to add some of the good nutrition, and we use it for preparedness purposes. So we still feed mainly kibble, but with everything that's gone on with pet food, both for us personally and in the industry in general, we have switched to a better kibble. This dog food is very highly rated. You can see that it is real turkey is the first ingredient, no poultry byproducts. It's holistic, natural. There's no artificial anything. There's no corn, wheat, or soy. This one is grain-free, and I had to do a lot of research on this because I have heard a lot about grain-free being bad for dogs. But the actual problem with grain-free is when they are over-dependent on plant-based proteins instead of animal-based proteins. That's what's actually bad for the dogs rather than the fact that it's actually grain-free. So we did a lot of research on this one before we settled on this. It is developed by veterinarians and nutritionists, and of course it is made in the USA, which is something that's important to us, especially with our pet food. One thing I love about this food is I was able to get one food that is appropriate for all 6 of our dogs, which has really simplified stocking up as well as feeding time. The freeze-dried that we buy can also be fed to our cats as well, which has really, really simplified the emergency plan. This company has a free tool where you can go fill out a questionnaire about your pets, and it gives you a personalized recommendation for your animals, which is very helpful. That's how I was able to determine the food that was going to work for all of the dogs. I'm going to leave a link to that down below as well. I also love that it comes in multiple bags. For instance, I ordered the 30-pound size, and since we have 6 dogs, and even though I got the bulk discount, it still comes in 3 10-pound bags. So they're just easier for me to handle than one large bag. And the unopened portion is going to stay fresher because it's not open as long, so I just love that. I did order a few non-food items as well because ordering 3 non-food items is going to make my food ship for free, and I hate paying for shipping. So I ordered this 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that we like. Just like for ourselves, we also want to make sure that we are prepping for our pets' hygiene needs as well. In the event that we aren't able to get to the store, aren't able to get to the groomers. I mean, think about what happened in 2020 during the lockdowns when even humans weren't able to get to their hairdressers. So even though my dogs typically go to the groomers, sometimes I do have to wash them myself if they get into something or they're sick and they get messy or something. And you just never know when that might be my only option. So we definitely keep stocked up on things like this. By the same token, I also got some cleansing wipes that would be used in lieu of a bath. Just like, we store for ourselves body wipes just in case, we have a short-term emergency. We're not able to take a shower because of a lack of running water, lack of hot water, anything like that. I also like to store wipes for the dogs. And then I also do use these. I've been using them a lot lately because it's been raining here a lot. So, muddy paws and just different things like that. So I definitely needed to restock on these. And then I did grab a bag of treats. That's my 3rd item. These are freeze-dried treats, freeze-dried chicken liver. So these have all those same benefits of the freeze-dried food, and my animals love them. I think it's a good idea to keep treats on hand I keep them with my emergency supplies, with my evacuation supplies and our bug out gear. I keep them in my vehicle. Sometimes when there's a stressful situation or there's a storm or something, our animals tend to hide. You know how it is when you need them, you can never find them. So I find that if I have something that they really, really like that makes a noise, like example, a crinkly treat bag like this, or a can of food with a pop top, if I can crinkle that bag or pop that top, sometimes that makes them come running. And so I do think that's definitely an important thing to have. In my vehicle, I like to have them. If your pet ever, runs off and you're trying to catch them, I find if I can get into the general vicinity they're in and make that crinkly treat bag noise, they'll sometimes come running. And same with if you're out and about and you're just trying to help a stray dog that you find, or a stray animal. And next over here, I have just some different grocery items. I've got some of these drink flavoring squirts, and these are all energy ones. We like to keep water flavoring on hand in our Prepper Pantry. If you were drinking water that had been stored for a while or had been treated, it might have an off taste, and so you might want to cover that up. And there's some people who just don't enjoy drinking plain water, and so this might be necessary to get people drinking water, especially kids. We don't have a problem with that in our family. We just love drinking plain water, but Mr. Wicked Prepared has been using these energy ones, so I'm trying to keep stocked up on these. And energy in an emergency, you might want to have some caffeinated beverages. Hopefully you have a way to make coffee or tea if you're a coffee drinker. In an emergency, we definitely do, because I love coffee, but this could be an easier option that doesn't require heating. You never know when you might need to have just an extra burst of energy, or you might need to stay up if you need to guard your home or your property or something like that. So there's lots of different reasons why you might need a load of extra energy. So those would be a good thing to have. And next I got some of these Marie Callender's cornbread mix, just add water. I like these for emergency purposes because they are just add water. So you don't need to have any milk or eggs or anything like that. And I use these quite a bit in meals in a bag. Like I just recently did a meal in a bag that was a casserole and it had a cornbread topping. So this went on it. So that was perfect. I got these at grocery pickup, and there's one that still has a coupon stuck on it. So I'm gonna have to bring that in next time and get another bag and use that coupon. So if you go shopping for this at the store, check and see if you see any bags with coupons on them. But Just Add Water mixes are great for the Prepper Pantry. I do make my own Just Add Water cornbread mix, but I typically put that in a glass jar, and for my meals in a bag, I don't like to have the glass jars. I could definitely do mine in a Mylar bag, but I also like to sometimes use items that would be easy for anybody to just go buy at the grocery store if they want to follow what I'm doing. And next I got 3 boxes of these Mafalda pasta. These are the mini lasagna noodles. I have a really hard time finding these. They're not sold anywhere around where I live, so I have to get them from Amazon, and it's a little bit more than I would typically pay for a 12-ounce box of pasta, but I do like to have this shape. Like I mentioned, I made that lasagna skillet meal, or if I make lasagna soup or something, I just like to have this shape. So it's worth it for me to buy it occasionally. If you have a Winco near you, one of our viewers told me that they sell these in the bulk bins at Winco. I'm super jealous. I would love to go to a Winco someday, but we don't have one here. There's also a whole grain option that you can get if you like to use whole grain pasta, so I'll try to remember to link this option down below as well. And next I got some canned goods. I got a case of each. I like to buy my canned goods by the case. Sometimes it's cheaper that way, and sometimes it's just the same price, but it's just more convenient. For me, it's handy for storing them. It's handy for keeping an advanced supply so that if we have to go without the grocery store for a while, we have what we need. And it's just also more convenient in everyday life because these canned goods are not going to expire for a very, very long time. So I might as well just have them on hand and not have to make trips to the store whenever I need them. This Southwest corn by Del Monte, this is something that we really like, but I guess it's kind of a luxury item because this can of vegetables is over $2, and to me that's a lot to pay for a can of vegetables. But I do like the extra flavor in this one, and I tend to use it in recipes where the recipe's probably just calling for a can of corn, but I think this adds to it, so it's not a necessity, but I do like to have it. And then I've got a case of the country sausage gravy from Walmart. This is the Great Value brand. I just get whatever's cheapest, which at this time, this is what was cheapest for me. This is something that we like. My daughter especially loves this. She'll have a quick breakfast with this, but there are, like I mentioned, Just Add Water biscuit mixes, which are super handy for emergency purposes, and you can make a quick and easy breakfast with a biscuit mix and a can of gravy. This does have plenty of chunks of sausage in the gravy. It's not just the gravy, so it's really complete. And then I got a case of the Dill crushed pineapple. These are the larger cans. I think they're 20-ounce cans. I just got a bunch of the Walmart brand of this, but when I was shopping around, I noticed that Amazon had a deal going on. I think it was a coupon, I can't remember, but I was able to get these cans for either the same price or less expensive than the Walmart brand. So anytime I'm able to do that, I like to grab it. Crushed pineapple is typically something that I use in recipes, not really something that we eat on its own. Like things like Jello salads, pineapple banana bread, things like that use the crushed pineapple, but that's what I keep that on hand for. And then I've got a big bag of Brazil nuts. This is one of my favorite nuts. Nuts are a good thing to have in your prepper pantry as long as you can keep them rotated, because nuts aren't going to last for years and years. They would go rancid. I haven't had as much trouble with the Brazil nuts. And nuts are very healthy. They're a very good concentrated source of calories and healthy fats. And so they're definitely a good thing to have on hand. We buy them in bulk, but like I said, I eat them regularly. We eat them regularly, so they do get rotated through so they don't go bad. You can store nuts in the freezer, and that can make them last a lot longer. But of course, we try not to rely on our freezer, because if the power goes out, you no longer have your freezer. But as long as we do have power, they can be kept in the freezer. You can also try sealing them, vacuum sealing them in glass jars for a little bit longer storage. But nuts are definitely a good item to have. And next I've got a 4-pack of these Suave conditioner. These are an inexpensive conditioner that we do like. I'm not super picky about conditioners and hair products, but we don't like everything. We try everything, and if we like it, we stick with it, especially if it's less expensive. This was a really good deal on Amazon. I think it was another coupon for the 4-pack, and so I grabbed this. I'll put a link down below. I'm not sure if the coupon would still be available and the price would still be good, but you can check it out. And some people might not think of conditioner as a necessity. Maybe they think of shampoo and soap as a necessity. But for me, honestly, conditioner is a necessity. I don't feel right without it. Somebody said on one of my videos, my get home bag video, that they would ditch the hand lotion because it's not a necessity or something like that. But honestly, to me, hand lotion and conditioner are two things that are a necessity. Like, I hate the feeling of dry hands and dry hair. And in our female heavy house, we go through a lot of conditioner. This right here is a bag of Thermoflow. So this is a canning safe thickener. So this is something that could be used in things like pie fillings, or homemade ketchup, for instance, uses Thermoflow. This is a 4-pound bag. Now, I did have a little bit of an issue with some of the powder coming out of the package in the Amazon box. It got all over some of my other stuff, but I don't think I lost enough of it to make a big deal about it. And back here, I've got a couple of kitchen appliances, and I'm going to tell you how you can save a lot of money on these. Now, this is a Nutrimill, so this is a grain mill. So this would be used to grind, whole wheat berries into flour, or other grains. You can grind other grains, corn into cornmeal. You can grind all sorts of grains and beans. Now, this is an electric mill, so this would not be used in a grid down emergency. You definitely want to have a hand powered grain mill as well. But if you're storing whole wheat berries for preparedness purposes, which is really the way to go because they have such a longer shelf life than storing flour, you definitely want to, like I mentioned with everything else, you want to be using it and rotating it. You don't want to just store it for 25, 30 years and then throw it away if you didn't use it. And there's some real benefits to grinding your own flour, because there's so much nutrition in that whole wheat berry, and then as soon as it's ground, within about 2 days, it's lost most of that nutrition. So when you buy flour from the store, it's really devoid of so much nutrition that was originally in the wheat. And so you can actually make yourself healthier by using some of your food that you store. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. Like, if you grind your own fresh milled flour, you're going to have a lot more health benefits from it, and you'll be rotating through your stock and using it, which is a really good thing. Now, so this is a really good mill, but I think it's a decent price for what quality of a mill that it is. And like I mentioned, I'm going to tell you in just a minute how you can save a lot of money on these, because it's what I did. And then this right here is a Bosch Mixer. So it's sort of like a KitchenAid, but you can see that it works a lot differently. The mixing mechanism is a lot different. I'm going to see if I can put a little video clip in here showing you how it works. This is a really, really good mixer, and it is not cheap. It's an investment. It's definitely an investment. But like I said, there's ways that you can save some money on this. I actually got both of these items from Azure Standard, which I wasn't surprised to see the grain mill there, because they sell whole grain. They sell whole wheat berries. But I was surprised to see the mixer there. I didn't expect to see that there. And Azure Standard is an amazing, amazing store website. They sell all natural, all organic foods and cleaning supplies and everything. They have everything you could imagine. But they also have a Refer a Friend program where you can share a link with people that you know who might want to buy, you know, those really great products. And if someone that you refer purchases through them and purchases $100 or more within a 3-month period, Azure Standard rewards you with $25 credit to their store. And so if you know anybody who would be interested in organic foods, health foods, natural foods, and let's face it, a lot of people are interested in that these days. And Azure Standard also has amazing prices. So you can save your friends some money and turn them onto a new store in the process. And you can get some free credit that you can use towards these appliances or anything else. But that is what I did. I ended up building up a good amount of free credit and using it on these items to take a good chunk of the price down. So I will put a link down below so that you can go to Azure Standard and register for an account and have that free Refer a Friend link. So it's really, in a way, it's like having an affiliate link. And that is something in this day and age, in this economy, everyone needs a little bit more money. I just heard a statistic that the average person needs to be making $11,000 more every year to live the same lifestyle now that they did 4 years ago. So a lot of people are turning to some sort of affiliate marketing or something like that to earn some of that extra money that they need. So if you can share a free link and possibly earn some free food or even some cash, then why not? So I'm going to share the Azure Standard program below, and I'm also going to share a few other programs that we know of that will give you either free food or cash just for sharing a link. And then the last thing we're adding to our Prepper Pantry this week is not something we bought, but just a couple of things that we put up, just a couple of small batches from the garden. This is kind of what we're getting out of our garden right now. So this is just one batch of zucchini relish. This is our absolute favorite thing. I think this is what we use the most of anything that I can. We mostly use it on hot dogs, but so with it being summer, we're eating a little more hot dogs. I'll be doing a lot more batches of this to get us through the year. I used to do it in half pints, and now I do it in pints because I just found that the half pints went way too fast. But I do have a half pint and a quarter pint there just because I didn't have quite enough to make a full pint with the last bit of it. And then, of course, just some peas out of the garden. And I do label these with labels from our little label printer. A lot of you have been interested in that. It's the same one we use for our freeze-dried food inventory. We can put QR codes on it if we want. I like that these labels stick to the jar as well, but they also peel off easily, so I don't have to get dissolvable labels or anything like that, and it definitely saves my hand from all that handwriting. Keep in mind, these videos are just a glimpse into what we're stocking up on at the moment. We do have a few videos that could be helpful to beginner preppers just getting started. I'll link those down below in the description box. Remember, one of the most important things that many people don't do is to use and rotate your preps and your food storage. No matter what it is, I don't care how long a shelf life it has or how much money it costs you, it will be far more costly to let it go to waste. Nothing should come into your home to be hidden away and just sit there. Use it, get used to it, get comfortable with it, rotate, rotate, rotate. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a beach emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for some great prepping tips. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.